words, and of course we'll go through examples so that you can feel comfortable using these words. Okay, let's get started. The first word of the day, accumulate. This means to gather or collect over time. And our writing example for you, over the years, the company was able to accumulate a substantial amount of data. And a speaking example as well. I tend to accumulate a lot of books in my personal library. Adapt. To adjust or change to suit new conditions or requirements. Successful businesses often adapt their strategies to market trends. Living in a foreign country forced me to adapt to a different culture. So this is an important skill here, adapt. Analyze. To examine something in detail, to understand its components or structure. The researcher analysed the data to identify patterns and trends. Let's analyse the causes of this issue. Application. The use or relevance of something in a specific context. The application of technology in healthcare has revolutionised patient care. I submitted my job application online. So an application can be a physical thing as well. It could be a job application either online or perhaps in person as well. A form, in other words. Approximate. Close to the actual but not exact. Not quite. The approximate cost of the project is around $10,000. Can you give me an approximate time for your arrival? Arbitrary. Based on random choice or personal whim rather than any reason or system. The selection of winners in the lottery is arbitrary. The decision seemed arbitrary and unfair. Assess. To evaluate or judge the quality, value, or importance of something. It's crucial to assess the potential risks of this project. I need to assess the situation before making a decision. Attribute. A quality or characteristic inherent to someone or something. One key attribute of a successful leader is strong communication skills. Her positive attitude is a valuable attribute. Capitalize now. To take advantage of an opportunity or resource. The company aimed to capitalize on the growing market's demand. So you see an opportunity and you are looking to make the most out of it. We should capitalize on our strengths. Clarify. So this is to make something clear or easier to understand. The speaker clarified the main points of the presentation. Could you please clarify your statement? So if you're not sure about something, you can always ask someone to clarify. Or you could be looking for clarification. Coincide. To occur or happen at the same time. So it's almost simultaneous. The launch of the product will coincide with the holiday season. Our schedules coincided, so we decided to meet. Compile. To gather or collect information or data from various sources. The report was compiled from surveys conducted across the country. I need to compile all the research findings. So it almost means put together everything you have. Comprise. To consist of or be made up of. The committee comprises experts from various fields. The team is comprised of experienced professionals. Consequence. A result or effect of an action or condition. This could be positive or negative. The consequence of neglecting the environment is environmental degradation. What do you think will be the consequence of this decision? Consist. To be composed or made up of. The book consists of several chapters. So it's similar to comprise. The book comprises of several chapters. His daily routine consists of exercise and meditation. Constitute now. To be the parts that together form a whole. The various components constitute the entire system. These elements constitute the core of the theory. Constrain. To restrict or limit something. Budget constraints prevented the expansion of the project. Time constraints forced us to finish the task quickly. So there could be financial constraints, budgets, time constraints, resource constraints. Contribute. To give or provide something, often in terms of effort, resources, or ideas. So this is less focus on financial contribution, although of course that is an element of it, but it's more, the focus is more on perhaps time, ideas, resources. Volunteers contribute their time to support humanitarian causes. How can individuals contribute to environmental conservation? Correspond. To be in agreement or match with something. The results of the study correspond with previous research. Does this information correspond with what you heard? Criterion. These are standards or rules used to assess or evaluate something. The selection criteria for college admissions include academic achievements and extracurricular activities. So what do you need to get into college? What are the criteria for choosing a trustworthy source? Deduce. To infer or conclude information based on evidence and reasoning. From the data, we can deduce that consumer preferences are shifting. Another way of saying we can see. What can you deduce from the speaker's tone of voice? Derive. So this is to obtain or receive something from a source. They derive their income primarily from investments. So they receive, they get, in other words. Where did you derive this information? Differentiates. To recognize or express the difference between two or more things. The ability to differentiate between credible and unreliable sources is essential. Can you differentiate between these two flavours? So, can you tell the difference? Diminish. To make or become less in size, importance, or intensity. The quality of the products should not diminish over time. In other words, they should not get worse. His influence seems to diminish as time goes on. Discern. To perceive or recognize something with difficulty or effort. It's challenging to discern the true intentions behind their actions. So it's challenging, it's difficult to put your finger on or understand truly what the intentions are. Can you discern any changes in the data? Discrepancy now. So this is a lack of compatibility or similarity between two or more facts or reports. So they don't follow the same pattern, in other words. There was a significant discrepancy between the witness statements. The speaking example, I noticed a discrepancy in the account balances. Dissect. To analyze or examine something in great detail. Scientists dissected the specimen to study its internal structure. So it could be more to do with biology and science. We need to dissect the problem to find a solution, but we can also apply this to business settings as well and issues. Distinct. Clearly different or separate. Each culture has its own distinct traditions and customs. Their tastes in music are quite distinct. They're quite different. Diverse. You might know this one. Showing a great deal of variety or difference. Diverse perspectives enrich the learning environment. Our team is diverse with members from different backgrounds. So diversity might be one of the key morals of a company. Element. A fundamental or essential part or component of something. The periodic table lists all the chemical elements. So here we have, in the scientific sense, you might know the periodic table. The story has an element of mystery. It can also be applied to other situations like a story or a narrative. Emerge. To become known or apparent. New technologies often emerge as solutions to existing problems. So they come out, they enter the world, and in this case, they are here to solve problems. Will any challenges emerge during the project? So will any challenges come to light? Empirical. Based on observation or experience rather than theory or pure logic. The scientists conducted empirical research to validate the hypothesis. This conclusion is based on empirical evidence. Equate now. To consider one thing to be the same as or equivalent to another. So equal. Some people equate success with financial wealth. She equated their actions to betrayal. So she put them in the same category as betrayal. Establish. to set up or create something like a business or a friendship. The company aims to establish a strong presence in the international market. We need to establish clear guidelines for the team. Evaluate. To assess or judge the value, quality, or significance of something. Evaluating the impact of technology on society requires careful consideration. How do you evaluate the performance of employees? How do you judge the performance? Evolve. To develop or change gradually over time. Languages continue to evolve as cultures interact and change. The project plan may need to evolve as new information comes in. Exemplify now. To serve as a typical example or illustration of something. Her actions exemplify the qualities of a good leader. This situation exemplifies the challenges we face. Explicate. To explain or analyze in detail. The professor explicated the complex theories in a simple manner. Could you please explicate your theory further? Facilitate. To make a process or action easier or more efficient. Effective communication can facilitate better teamwork. So it can foster better teamwork, if you like. The software is designed to facilitate data analysis. Feature. A distinctive aspect, quality, or characteristic of something. One feature of this product is its user-friendly interface. What features do you like in a smartphone? So these are product features, but you can apply feature to a lot of different situations. Formulate. To create or develop a strategy, plan, or idea. To come up with something. The team worked together to formulate a comprehensive marketing plan. I need to formulate my response carefully. Function. The purpose or role that something has. What part does it play? The function of this software is to streamline business operations. What is the function of this device? Or in other words, what does it do? What is the purpose? Generates. To produce or create something, often in large quantities. Renewable energy sources can generate electricity without harming the environment. We need to generate more ideas for this project. Create, come up with. Hypothesize now. So this is to suggest a possible explanation or theory based on sometimes limited evidence. Scientists often hypothesize about the origins of the universe. I would like to hypothesize that stress impacts our health. So there might be varying levels of evidence, but you can still hypothesize. Identify. To recognize or name something or someone. It's important to identify the main drivers of environmental degradation. I can easily identify my favorite book on the shelf. Illustrate now. To provide examples or visual aids to make something clear or understandable, so similar to illustrations. But doesn't have to be pictures, but it can be visual aids. The graph illustrates the correlation between education levels and income. Let me illustrate my point with a real-life example. Imply. To suggest or indicate something without explicitly stating it. The findings imply a need for stricter environmental regulations. Are you implying that I'm not capable of handling this task? Incentive. A motivating factor or reason that encourages a particular action. So you might get this in a work setting. Incentives. Financial incentives can encourage individuals to save more money. What's the incentive for employees to meet their targets? Incorporate. To include or integrate something as part of a whole. So the company plans to incorporate sustainability practices into its operations. Let's incorporate these ideas into our project. Index. This is a list or system used for referencing or organising information. So you might have seen these in the back of books. The index of the book helps readers locate specific topics. The index of the report contains links to different sections. All right, well, that brings us to the end of this lesson, and these were more words that you can use in an IELTS situation and generally as well. So I hope that's been helpful. Thank you so much for coming along, and we'll see you in the next lesson.